Hello, humans. Someone can just give me a quick yes, I can hear you. That would be fantastic. Hello, Kelly. Hello, everyone. Good, good. It's as long as the Twitch universe can hear me. Fuck everyone else. So let me just open. Let me just need to expand this out. So good times. I've decided since everyone and possibly everyone and their mother has sent me the oatmeal comic on wombats. I'm writing about the wombat today, and I was a little disappointed. There was an error in the not in the body of the comic, but at the bottom of the comic it says that it's thank you for the thank you for the birthday wishes. The birthday was yesterday. I'm officially old enough that I need to re-up my Botox again. But the wombat at the bottom of the comic it says there are only 80 wombats or 80 of the northern hairy-nosed wombats are left in the world. And that's that a few years ago, I believe that was the case. But it's one of those things where it's like they're accurate in the spirit, but not in the. Hold on, this is bothering me. They're close enough. They're accurate in the spirit of it, not in the number. But buddy, I swear to God, my dog hears me start talking. He's like, "Mom, I need to be in the center of this." But I'm just gonna have an arm hanging over here petting the dog. But yeah, it's something like last I checked for the northern wombat, they're up above 300 now, which still they're fucking endangered. We need those wombats to start humping more. But of course, if you can donate money to the charities that are listed in at the bottom of the comic, if you want to help help with wombat preservation efforts, or not wombat with wombat saving the wombats. That's just the less technical way to phrase that. But anyways, yeah, it's just they're not in the article. Some of the or in the comic, and I get it, it's a comic, but he kind of conflates wombats with the northern and southern wombat, and it's like it's a comic. I'm also trying to make sure that I'm not just giving you the same information as a comic, because he basically talks about their cubed poop and their butts that can be used as a fucking weapon. And you can't write an article about the wombat without mentioning the cubic poop. But also, this I found out whilst I was researching, because no matter what, I have to read a zillion things to be like, is there another story? They're really loud farters. The wombat, really fucking loud farters. That's a thing I found out today. Just after I'm going to try to remind you of this at the end of this. Yeah, Google wombat farting. It's a gas. But I was, yeah. Oh, you saw that? Yeah, it's never mind. Dave, never mind. Saw the same oatmeal. I'm pretty sure literally all of you sent it to me. All of you, your mothers, my mother. Hold on, buddy will not. Buddy, what is it? Is it that it's 100 degrees in here and you also need to sit on my lap? Is that he's getting out of the cone tomorrow? He's getting his stitches off. Oh, come here. There we go. So there we go. He gets a sigh lamp. No, he is getting out of the cone of shame tomorrow, and getting his stitches off. And I'm very excited for it. I think he's more excited for it than I am, because he hasn't licked himself. Hi buddy. He's demanding to be able to lick my face right now. He's a little. He's a little demanding of the attention. It is. Anyway, but he's given the kisses as we speak. I'm just saying, life is if you want to, getting a tiny dog is very hard, because every so often they need to get dick surgery, and that will stress you out. But they want to love you constantly. Thank you very much, Akiko. It was a good hair day, hence I'm wearing my hair and not a plastic wig on top of it. But it's also, like I said, it is hot as balls up here, and I have a giant fan blowing at me just enough to keep me cool, but not enough so that if I feel like lighting a joint later on in this, the joint won't stay lit. Look, I have needs, and I can be a little sweaty, but I need my joint to stay lit. So yeah, it's LA attic hot. So it's what it is. Okay, there we go. Buddy is chilled out now, and by chilled out I mean my everything over here is just a swamp. It's just a swamp. It's a swamp. We'll survive though. We'll survive. I'm so happy he's doing better. Like the first few days I said you were doing fine. Come back down. Just, buddy, what do you need? What could you possibly need now? Hi. Hello. It's I'm just going to take the camera and bring it over here so you can see this adorable. Look at this guy. I mean, of course, just look at him. Look at him, buddy. This is the view I have constantly. Like, of course, there is a constant distraction from work. I have this cute little monster in my lap. Okay, sorry if this is making anyone dizzy, but you needed to see that. Have I put tentacles on Psydog to pretend he's a Sarlacc pit? Oh, that'd be hysterical. But no, he's getting this off tomorrow, and we're all very happy about. Oh, buddy, he's just like I said. I look down and I see that view that you guys just got, which is why I'm constantly getting distracted. Because I mean, look at that view. That's too much. Just this constant little face of mom. What happened to the rest of my body? What is beyond this cone? What is happening to my rump? Why is it feeling funny when I pee now? What has happened to me? Oh, Mom has entered the chat. Anyways, okay, buddy, calm down. Buddy, I have a live stream to manage. You don't know what that is, do you? Ryan said he wants more genital surgery. I got a guy that did it for Buddy really cheap. Well, not really cheap, but like there's a guy that did it for Buddy. I don't think he's the guy that can do it for you though, Ryan. Just say it. I don't think the results are what you want for it. They could just kind of, it is not aesthetic. Anyways, has Psycat taunted? Psycat has let's see. Oliver and Buddy get along great. So Oliver's been kind of like snuggling up to him a little bit. Bonnie, on the other hand, is like, but dog, I'm letting you live for now. But like, it's funny because she'll take like a minute extra to realize he's there because the cone blocks his face, and like she'll realize after a minute she's like, oh, that's the dog's butt. I have to run from here. The dog is sitting. Anyways, so back to what I was planning on today. But yeah, the Wombat comic was super fucking adorable. I'm working on an article that should be out in the next few hours. It was just like whenever I start off with a fuzzy critter, I always I want to find out what's the story, what's something that makes it neat. Like I don't want to just send a bunch of facts at you. I want to turn it into something cute. I found out that the oldest, and this is a part of the article, the oldest wombat ever in captivity, and they lived much longer in captivity, was a wombat named Patrick the Wombat, who lived to 31 years old. Was like the mascot of this town in Australia. And part of the reason that he lived in, he was taken in when he was orphaned, and they tried to re-release him out into the wild, and he was shall we say, a failed release because he was attacked by a bunch of the males of the male wombats are kind of territorial. They attacked him, and he was like, nah, I want to go back to the wildlife park, and so he lived to be the longest documented, or the oldest documented wombat in history, Patrick the Wombat. There is your there's your interesting wombat fact of the day. So later on there'll be more wombat facts. Anyways, oh god, there's a new variant. There's another one on top of Delta. God damn it! Why? I'm just keeping up. So, anyways, there will be, as I said, more wombat facts later. It's that, but we will get to. There will be wombats written down for you guys later. So, but anyways, let's chat a bit. I'm glad, Chris. I'm glad to know that you don't poop in squares. Actually, if you ever start pooping in squares. Anyways, but yeah, I need, it's the interesting thing. No one quite knows why they poop in square. Like there are a bunch of, here's why it's useful. No one knows quite how the square poop happens. Like here's why it could. Here are all the weird things happening in their intestines. No one really knows. So Lambda variant, it's like I just figured out enough about the Delta variant to have any amount of a conversation about it, and now the Lambda variant is here. Why is it happening to? All right. So, anyways, Delta variant. So I had a fun week and a half in New Hampshire where I got to go mask free, which was effing great. And it was nice to it was nice to see faces again. It was nice to go into stores and be like, yeah, I feel comfortable enough going mask free in places where there are strangers. it's Christian's asking if they recently figured out how the square poop. I'm looking for articles in that, and there are, like I said, bunch of theories. I could not. It's if someone can find an article saying definitively that they know, that would be fucking cool. Because I don't want to write a thing saying they don't quite know yet, and then I'm wrong. But like, I feel like that'd be a thing that, like, the day they find out this is exactly why the square poop happens, or this is exactly how the square poop happens, like they're gonna be like, basically, I fucking love science is gonna just spam us for the next week. It's the only, like, they're just waiting on wombat poop to have anything interesting to talk about for a while. Like, that's the next thing they're gonna spam us with. I that's anyways. I like Julian. I like wearing a mask. It hides my resting bitch face. Like, it was oddly nice to go out and, like, it's I hadn't been to a restaurant in what since March of 2020. I went to, yeah, my mom and I think we went out to eat twice. So, like, that tells you how, dire going out to eat was in my life. I'm like, I got 10 days, and twice was how much I was motivated to go out. Square proof, blame math, excellent. But yeah, like, it was nice to go out a bit. But, like, here's the thing: while I was in New Hampshire, and this is, like, I'm not going to tell, as usual, like, I don't want to tell adults what to do with their life. However, if like, I was in New Hampshire when I was, and Delta hadn't, at that point been shown to, be passed from one person who was vaccinated to another person who was vaccinated yet. And while I was in New Hampshire, which again has something like an eighth, or like something like somewhere between 1/6 and 1/8 of the number of people that live in my county alone out here in LA. And again, 14 cases. 14 cases some of the days that I was there. I didn't feel like I was going to have a high chance of running my vaccinated ass into somebody that had a bad enough case of COVID that they were going to come sneezing it straight into my face in New Hampshire. Like, the odds were very low. So when I tell people, make a judgment call on this, it's look at where you are in the world, look at the caseloads, look at if the cases are going up in your area, like that kind of thing. So it's not automatically, oh, Delta variant is out and it's fucking shit up. Is your area a shit show? Does your area have a high population density? Are the cases going up? Those kinds of things. So being in, in say UK is dramatically increasing in cases. Yeah, like there are places like the UK where they're having a lot a lot of cases, and even if I was vaccinated in the UK, I would be masking up everywhere. Like, I'm back in LA, and again, masking up everywhere. Like, I'm not masking up outside to walk my dog, like directly in this neighborhood, because it's a fairly, like, even though I'm close to downtown LA, like, it's fairly residential. And there's, I'm not, like, I'm not having middle of downtown LA levels of humans walking on my street up to my house. So there's, like, on my street, I'm fine. But if I'm going anywhere, if I'm going indoors, if I'm going to be near humans that I don't know their vaccination status, I'm masking up again. And depending on where you are in the world, like I said, you got to make that choice for yourself. But if I'm going if I'm going into a store again, and I think, like, just for the time being, given, and I tweeted about this morning, and I just wanted to, like, my friend that told me this was like, please, don't, my friend that told me this happened was like, don't say a word. And I'm like, I'm just going to take away enough details on this that nobody can even identify the industry they're in. But a friend of mine, told me that at their work in LA, they had, and it's, a fairly large company, they had an outbreak. Now, out of the whole of the company, it's not a large number of people that got sick, but they're very, like, at this company, because of, the industry they're in, they've been very strict about making sure that people are either masked up or vaccinated, and everyone has been complying. But even with everyone complying, they've gotten, I think it's somewhere around 30 some odd people were diagnosed. And of course, my friend doesn't have, like, the exact number of people that were vaccinated out of that, but everyone's been complying at work. With wearing masks and with vaccinating. They, like, basically, from what my friend knows, everyone on staff was vaccinated. And so it seems it's really rough watching what he suspected was a case of 30 vaccinated people, and 30 of them catching what's probably the Delta variant at this point. And at this point, now, here's something to keep in mind: nobody has symptoms, but also these are like it's, and I mean, we're curious if, like, because it's just an industry that that tests on a regular basis, because they care about their employees slash they don't want to get in trouble. Like, it's curious, would these people have never found out, just because, like, just because vaccinated people are kind of catching it and silently getting cases with no symptoms, and passing it that way, because of course we know it's not, being vaccinated is not this invisible force field that stops the virus from getting into your system at all. It just it gives your immune system the ability to kick the shit out of the virus really quickly, which means, yeah, you can get the thing into your system and test positive. It's just a question of how does that affect you, and can you pass it to other people? Now, if they have 26, if they have like 30 some odd people in the in the company that got sick, and a good deal of them are vaccinated, according to my friend, I think he said everyone that got sick was vaccinated. The question from that is, how, like, do we need boosters? How are any of these people getting, if they're all asymptomatic, how many people are they spreading it to? And would a booster stop the infections from happening in the first place, and would it stop transmission? Like, what's happening now with it, and how bad is it? And those are all a lot of questions. Now, there was an interesting, I don't know if argument is what I want to say, but anything with COVID is an argument. So hold on a second, I need some fluids. I need more fluids. So one person popped out with an article saying there are more people dying when they get COVID who have been vaccinated than who haven't been vaccinated. And this was an interesting set of data to go through, because they're like, yeah, like, and I looked through the data. Me stutter pretty. I swear I'm not high yet. Like, and that weird for me, right? But so this was very strange data to look through, because it was something like, and I don't know how complete the data was. I didn't have a long chance to look through it because I was trying to get the article on Wombats done before this, and I did not. But it was something like 70,000 cases of COVID diagnosed in people that weren't vaccinated. Yeah, unvaccinated, 70,000 cases, 10,000 cases in people that were vaccinated. And it was something like 100 fatalities in vaccinated people and 70 in unvaccinated. There was a decent chunk higher fatalities in the vaccinated people. But I want to, like, here's the thing, there's a lot of missing data from that, because I look at that and go, how many out of all the people that were exposed that were vaccinated didn't catch it at all? And what does this 100 fatalities out of the vaccinated population represent? Like, we're looking at 70,000 people that were that were diagnosed, that weren't vaccinated, and it's a fairly low fatality rate from that. And just and a few more people, and 30 some odd more people that died out of from a population of 10,000 that were infected, that were vaccinated. And I just look at it, and no, that's another good point. It runs counter to the latest data from Israel, but also Israel has a really, really high vaccination rate. Like, their vaccination rate is just what is, I haven't even looked recently, but it was just they kicked everyone's ass at getting vaccinated immediately. But it's I'm not even sure, I'm not sure what to make of that data, because like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But like, the one thing that I can think of looking at it, because there's no fucking I look at it and go, there's no way the vaccine is making people more likely to be dead from this virus. But here's my, this is of course conjecture, this is just, here's my thought. Say you've got a million people that are vaccinated and they're all exposed to the virus. Out of the handful of people that are going to get sick, like, and be diagnosed with it, the handful of people, and this is Michael just wrote the exact thing that I was thinking, would individuals who got sick after being vaccinated, it's you're be in a higher risk group to begin with. Like, that's the thing. Like, if it's someone, and some of the cases were people that had just been vaccinated in the previous 28 days. I think some of them were people that have been vaccinated in the previous 4 weeks, so the immunity might not have kicked in. Does this study, does the other study detail which vaccine? I did not see which vaccine it was going through, and it was just, again, someone tweeted it at me, and I'd have to go back through and hunt it down on the Twitters. Actually, you know what? I can do that right. I have a dog trying to uncord my cords. Right, buddy, come here. Come here. There we go. Oh, I'm experiencing technical difficulties known as having a dog, folks. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can grab this. What? Only 57% of Israelis are fully. Really? Jesus. I'm surprised by that. Is that including teenagers and whatnot? That could be a part of it. Hold on a second. Twitter. Let's see. I promise I'll be funny and entertaining in a moment. We're getting there. We'll get there. I just need my internet to run just the slightest bit faster. I'm going to be so annoyed if this person blocked me and I can't see their comments anymore. Oh, there's definitely someone saying the vaccine is causing the outbreak just straight out, and that's not accurate, obviously. A ton of people are saying the vaccine doesn't work at all because they're like, people with the vaccine are getting sick. And I'm like, that's not what this means either. The internet is an exhausting place. Oh, man. Yeah, I learned my lesson. Never close the thing that you think you might need to access later. It'll be gone. It'll be gone. Let's see. Israel, we don't know the manufacturers. I'm not sure either. Let's see. The vaccine causing. Here's the thing. Don't try to make statements from anti-vaxxers make sense. It's just it'll hurt your brain. Just don't do it. If they're saying something that sounds crazy and stupid, and here's the thing with misinformation. Misinformation is not meant to convince people like you or me that the misinformation is true, right? Like, they're not trying to get people like us. They're not trying to get, they're not even trying to convince most people that agree with them that the disinformation is true. Because I don't think that most people who say, oh yeah, the vaccines are causing the outbreak, I don't even think they think that's true. But what they do is, if you spread enough misinformation, if you just throw enough bullshit against the wall, they just stop having the ability to discern between what's real and what's shit. And you kind of start accepting that no truth from any authority is real. So you start accepting that any of these lines of bullshit that, the vaccine's putting a microchip into. I'm sorry, but I'm not worth microchipping. You're not worth microchipping. None of us are fucking worth microchipping. Just not happening. Yes, close the tabs. Otherwise, you have to reboot the computers to clear the rabbit hole of research using the excuse of a security patch. I'm not sure if that's directed at me to close the tabs or not, but I'm just my long-term plan for all the watch lists that I'm on for everything I've researched. I'm just gonna be a secret agent one day. It's a plan, but did not make any sense, and it was a bad joke. All right, 61% of all Israelis have at least one shot. 56% are fully vaccinated. I thought it was higher than that. I'm amazed. I think I'm gonna guess it's because they were reporting percentages of people that were adults that were eligible for it that were vaccinated early on, or at least that's what we were discussing early on, was how many people that were eligible for it were vaccinated. So now the kids are eligible, or now that we're talking about entire population, it's like, yeah, adults are lots of high percentage of people who are over 18 or over, I think, age 12 now are eligible in the US, but lots of people need the vaccine. And if you're, is it who in it's is it I don't have kids, so I have not paid attention to this at all. Is it 12 and up? Any people with offspring? Let me know. Who's more of an authority, the CDC or the guy named yeah, it's, I mean, I'm going to I'm going to trust Jeff with the mud truck. That Jeff with the mud truck seems to know what he's doing. He's a free thinker. He's on it. All the microchips went into the vaccine. That's why there's not enough for cars. Excellent. Let's see. Pfizer is 12 and up. Okay. For some reason, I hope, I'm not sure if it's that for all of them, but cool if it is. Oh, there's one thing that I read about Pfizer earlier today that I know they have decent data already on a third booster, giving extra protection against the Delta variant. So I'm like, can I get a Pfizer shot even if I already have 2 from Moderna? I'll take a Pfizer. Can I line up at the pharmacy now and get what are the rules on this? I'm just saying, given the number of people that have not lined up for their shots and that they're just kind of sitting there waiting for anyone to take them, are there rules on that? Can we just go, like, if anyone knows, because I have not found word on this either way, like, I'm guessing there's a no, you can't just go and get an extra one for funsies policy, but man, I would really I would love to get myself some extra immunity now. I feel that would be nice. So, or maybe in Moderna would have already had 2. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't think that I don't know if let's see, the modernizer Zeneca. Nice. I don't know if no mixing is the rule, because I believe, I could be misremembering, but I believe it was Angela Merkel who got she got, I want to say it was AstraZeneca and Pfizer. I could be misremembering which shot. I don't remember, but I believe she got one. She mixed her first and second shot. But that's a thing some people are doing, is getting a first shot from one company and a second of the other. But now I'm like, wait, so could I get a third from Pfizer? Maybe a fourth from J&J, a fifth from whatever the off-brand Sanofi bullshit that they've got somewhere. I'll take them all. I would like one of each. I want the power of all of them coursing through my veins. I just want all the vaccines. Just give them to me. Throw them in. He got 2 different kinds. I'll ask him about that. I just remember him complaining about his what was it, the shingles shot. So that was amusing. mRNA. Oh yeah, indeed they can be. mRNA vaccines can be mixed. That makes sense. I would love a booster. No, some scientists said no mixing, and it's, I don't think that's accurate. I'm just because here's the thing, and this seems to surprise people. There are a lot of scientists, and some of them are wrong occasionally. And I'm going to go with the one saying no mixing and matching and no third shots are that person's a wrong scientist. How did he get both Pfizer and J&J? Like, did he get that? Oh, he must have gotten Pfizer first and then J&J for the second one if Pfizer wasn't available. That's at least my guess. Which, that's cool. But yeah, there's no reason why these shouldn't be able to be mixed. There's no contraindications here. I think when I went, because I was in the J&J study, I was a lab rat for them. They basically said to me, as long as you haven't gotten I think I couldn't have gotten my flu shot within the previous month, but there was no, you can't, like, there was, like, yeah, I don't think anyone ever said you can't mix mRNA vaccines. So mixes in. Look, if I'm just saying, from all the things I've written about radiation now, I know I can't become She-Hulk from a radiation accident. I know like a blast of protons through the brain is not going to give me my powers. I know that it's I'm not going to get it from a spider. So just give me all the mRNA vaccines. Maybe then I'll become Captain Marvel. Probably not, but got to try. Don't know how the mRNA vector vaccine. Here's the thing. I think what's going to happen with all of these is your body is going to recognize slightly. It's going to form very slightly different antibodies that are going to attack the same exact fucking thing. And I'm totally messing up the way that this should be explained. And someone who's a virologist would explain this much better than me. And I'm a toxicology chemistry person. But basically, your body is going to react to whichever mixture of things that the wonderful people from Pfizer, J&J, Moderna have thrown in there a little differently. It's going to form a little slightly different thing to each one that's going to go, I now recognize. It's like it's like, say you want someone to recognize a douchebag, and you're like, here, I'm going to give you, and you tell them, you give them one piece of the douchebag outfit. Like you give one person the Axe body spray, and one person the Ed Hardy shirt, and one person the hair gel. And each of those people, they can recognize the douchebag from there. They have different pieces that help them recognize it. So when the douchebag shows up, they're like, oh, kick that guy out of the party. They didn't need all the different pieces, but they can all recognize the douchebag. That's what all the different vaccines do, is they give the body different pieces with which to kick the fucking douchebag COVID out of the party. I hope that helps. I think that's probably the best science. You know what? I'm submitting that Nata Veritasium for my explainer for how vaccines work. Cheers. J&J was wait, he got that was his third? I realized I could probably call James right now and be like, I need an explanation. How did you get a third? How did J&J for shot number 3 happened? I see someone complaining that I am, quote, just repeating data that's been spoon fed to me. Look, if someone would spoon feed me data, oh God, that'd be so hot. Like, I just want someone like with an actual spoon, just somehow, if that's possible, I want that. What's the difference between a douchebag, a douche nozzle, colloquially speaking? I want to go with the amount of Axe. It's got to be it. I have no idea. Someone already said that, but a booster is designed against variants. Yeah, like it's great. Yeah, like right now, like because right now we're using whatchamacallit, we're using the term booster just to mean taking Pfizer, like the previous shot of Pfizer, and taking it again. But we're not whatchamacallit, we're not the shots that are out right now are not shots that Pfizer has taken or any of these companies have taken and made for for the new variants that are out. These are the old shots that it's like, hey, extra dose of immunity. Extra dose of immunity will probably help. What about a douche canoe? I have no better definition for douche canoe. Let's see. Do we have someone that's just misbehaving? Like, what? I just want to know why does someone have to come in here and just not like is this really what you're doing on a Friday afternoon? Like, dude, there's porn somewhere on the internet. Like, that's a thing you could be doing right now. That I don't know. Like, at least you'd be coming if you were watching porn. Like, and if you're masturbating watching this, like, why? But hold on a second. Let me just. Mike, there's other stuff you could be up to right now, like anything else. Just I don't understand what the point is of just going into something else that other people are enjoying their day, and you just gotta show up and not. Hold on. There we go. Block user on Facebook. And there. Think we go. I think we got that. All right. Yeah, why? Just why? Why is there got to be one? Like I see them. They've there's just got to be one that's like I have other things I could be doing right now. There's an entire internet of things, and instead I am here. Man, it's probably, let's see. So it's to the point where we should ask our docs about a booster. And here's the thing: I know I'm talking about the booster a lot, and I'm like, I would like a booster, but I don't know if that's like I it's way I have not seen any word about a booster being a thing that's out yet, like that's standard issue yet. So I would wait until I see that they're approved by, or not approved by, but they're being recommended, approved, because it feels like that's the type of thing that that's going to be like quote officially what's the word? Amused. It needs emergency use authorization before it's going to become standard issue. So I don't know if you can just roll up to a CVS and be like, yeah, I already got them, but more, please. So discuss with your doctor if you have concerns, if you are if you've got any issues that means you are at higher risk for a COVID issue. Yeah, booster not. Let's see. Booster not available yet, but in the works. Stay tuned. Thank you, Gene. I appreciate that. There we go. I thank you for the clarifications, guys. Like, because I'm clearly behind on shit. So booster is in development by Pfizer at least, and will be effective against more of the spike proteins not out yet. So there, instead, it's not just a here more shot of the old stuff. So there is an actual booster, as in what we get for the flu every year, that's updated for the new strain. So they are updating for new strains. So basically, just like we get a flu shot every year, we're going to end up getting COVID shots. And, I'm on board for this. And eventually, we're probably it's going to be to the point where, because these diseases do in general get less deadly. So this is probably going to, there are going to be bad years, there are going to be less bad years. It's going to take a few years before it's not this bad. Like I think it took from 1918 until 1920 until COVID wasn't so much COVID until the Spanish flu, the Kansas flu, if we're being honest. I think it took from 1918 until 1920 for that to really die out. So, it's not that this is going to be undeadly, but we'll see where it's at in terms of this going from being quite the nightmare that it is to being a highly infectious yet not as deadly thing. So it's going to be, we still got time, but damn, the fact that we have vaccines already has really changed the game. And I'm still like, the fact that I felt comfortable hopping on an airplane, a year and a couple months after this whole thing started, fully vaccinated, didn't feel at worst, I feel like if I get it at this point with, my health being about where it is, I feel like I'll get the equivalent of a cold. And that's, it's kind of, strange and wonderful after where we were a year ago. It took 5 years for the Russian flu pandemic to finally die out. Are you referring to the one in 1970 or late 1880s? Because I might be thinking of the wrong one. Just clarify for me, because I know, because 1970 was caused by when they took the Russian the Spanish flu out of a freezer, and it got out. From what I could be misremembering that. So, fun story. So this is, I don't know what to say about this. Oh yeah, that's accurate, Akiko. Don't want to be don't want to be the statistical outlier, and it's very it's hard to Hey, Pod Junior 77. I was about to say Podger, which that would have fantastic. Let's see. Can you explain how more deadly variants will keep happening if people don't get vaccinated? I will get to that in just a moment. There was something else I want to touch on, and I definitely lost my train of thought. Let's see. Let's do variants. Why not? So basically, here's the thing. I don't know, saying there are going to be more deadly variants or they're going to get worse if people don't if people don't get vaccinated, more people get sick. But the best, like, here's how to explain this. So we already basically the cat is out of this is already become an endemic virus at this point, and it's hard to say, don't go outside, don't do like, this, if we don't do like, you have to, people are, let's see, everyone drink or vape if you got it. It's yeah, I did so rudely interrupt myself, Akiko. But so anyways, where was I? Spanish flu back into the wild, then you lost train of thought. I'm very good at losing my train of thought. It's look, by this point in the day, the ADHD meds are worn off just enough that I cannot, like, the train is just, we're with it for it meandering through the station. So no, that is a very good point, Star. So more people infected, more chances for mutations. Very absolute reason why it's going to keep on happening. So if at the very beginning of this somehow we'd gotten COVID at COVID alpha, whatever the first strain of it was, and we'd said this is going to be fine, we're going to stop it dead in its tracks, we might have only gotten the first virus. We would have gotten version alpha of this, and it could have, if somehow the thing had been cut to just a few thousand infections and had never gotten out of China, we would have only seen maybe one variant. It wouldn't have become an endemic. Man, if Russian hackers got to my brain, whew, that could be dangerous. If it could get me further in my Russian lessons, just if it could just get me through the genitive form, that'd be so great. I'm just saying, like, I'm learning Russian right now, and it's hard. Okay, like, I'm just saying, French, Spanish, and German were okay. German was a little tricky, but like easy compared to fucking Russian. So, anyway, so beginning of this, if this had stopped there, I didn't have a lot of hosts. It wasn't, it was, mutating. But one of the things that seemed helpful about COVID early on, and this is something that was repeated to me a lot. And if we learned, if we learned something differently, and I'm unaware, or I'm misquoting this, as usual, please correct me. But we were told that it did not mutate quickly, and that was going to help. That was going to be very, helpful in the long run. If you're still ordering from Imperfect Foods, the Waterloo, like, I love the lemon lime. Like, it tastes like a lemon lime popsicle, but like without the sugar. And I don't know how else to phrase it, but just it's very, the lemon lime's my favorite flavor. My husband likes the cherry, and I think the cherry tastes like cherry cough syrup. So the thing is, a lot of cherry flavored things have started tasting like cherry cough syrup to me, which makes me think I'm the broken one here. So it probably tastes delicious. But yeah, the Waterloo is the best of them. But let's see. Anyways, back to what I was saying about the virus and the spread. So, anyways, we were told one thing early on was it mutates slowly, and so it's not going to be a problem with variants. So it's been a year and a half, about a year and a half since we first got saddled with this fucker, and the first holy shit, fuck everything variant that's really changed things have come out. And we've had other variants. People are like, "Ooh, this is the bad one." Like, I'm just saying, I still think I was right that the variant that came out over Christmas and everyone's like, oh, this is the bad one. I'm like, no, I just think people are getting into the same houses and breathing on each other. I still think I was right. This is the variant. This is the one that's fucking shit up. I still think the problem was human behavior during the holidays, because right after the holidays, the cases dropped like crazy, and it was not the vaccines yet. It was the human behavior. It was that all the holiday parties were over. So just throwing that out there. But so here's the thing. The reason that I bring that up, and the reason why I think that the mutation rate is, they were accurate about this, and that it's not as fast as, say, the flu, is because it took it was only that first wave, that first winter after. It wasn't a year and a half into the Spanish flu. It was that first winter of it, when young people really, there was that, that peak, that boom, 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 and then that very huge peak for that third wave, when young people really, really died in huge numbers because, let's see, Butyria. I'm not going to get that. I'm getting the last bit of the word wrong. I'm like, nope. Here's the thing. I kind of can see it and go, I'm like, I know what this word is, and I don't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read a Russian word in the comments, and I'm nope. getting it completely wrong. Just laugh at me and know that I can almost sort of read Cyrillic. And anyways, back to what I was saying before I so rudely interrupted myself. Anyways, so it took not way less time during in the course of the Spanish flu for it to mutate into something that really fucked up everyone's day. It took about 1.5 years for this to mutate into something that's more infectious, but that doesn't seem to be causing different symptoms. Doesn't seem to have caused it to be worse for people. So those are some little things that are useful, but and this is definitely spread to more people, definitely spread faster, definitely had more hosts than the Spanish flu. So we have a couple different things that are happening there. So here's one big difference. So I do hear, I read people in the comments saying, it's if you keep on saying on the side, she interrupted herself, it's going to make me interrupt myself. I think you guys are just looking for excuses to get drunk, and I'm okay with that. So let's see. I'm just saying, go ahead and laugh for the ADHD moments. I found my medication arrived today. I'll be better on Monday. No, I won't. I'll be borderline functional on Monday. It's maybe. Anyways. So back to the COVIDs and the spreadings and the whatnot. So back to I'll get there in just a moment. So anyway, so case of COVID spread. It's where was I? I'll get there. In just a moment. So we're trying to figure out mutation rates. Anyways, the reason why I want to tell people, please don't go out. Please, if you get it, it's going to make it whatchamacallit, it's going to make it mutate more. It's please, this is I don't think that's going to dissuade people from going out more. I really don't think that's the thing that's going to get people to be like, oh yeah, I should definitely not go out and do my best to stop mutations from happening. Because there's someone really, how did he came back? Why? No, god damn it. Why? What did I do to deserve this? Did I miss it? I see people saying he's back. Why? Was there another comment? Oh, I might just not be able to see it over here. Oh, well, anyway. Yeah, I can't see it over here, so that's not useful. Oh, here he is. Luckily, I can block him in the app, so that's helpful. Block. Done. There we go. Bye-bye, Mikey. Just, Mikey, why? I know that... you're just gone now. There you go. This is why I keep this here, just in case, because there's always going to be some dick bag that can't help himself. Go watch some porn. Go do fucking anything else with your time, dude. I'm sure you've got other crap to just do anything else. Put your dick in your hand and move it back and forth, buddy. You're going to be fine. Oh my god, what's wrong with people? So anyway, the reason why, even though yes, it's true, if more people go out and get COVID, it's going to mutate more, because of course that's how fucking mutations work. Yes, I want people to stay home so that we don't make this stupid thing mutate more. The reason why I don't bring that up that often is because I can't get people to believe that vaccines work. I don't think I'm going to get people on board with mutation rates. That's a reason why I don't bring that up that often. I agree with you. That's obviously a thing that's happening. But like, and yeah, if we'd managed to stop this thing from moving at all back, when this first became a thing. Oh, has Ari come into the chat? It's guys, just I need to. I was supposed to say, Ari, they've told so many jokes in an attempt to get your sweet, sweet fitness watches. Oh yes. But anyways, yeah. So that's the reason why, like, I don't bring that up that often, because it seems like all the other things that didn't take teaching people about science and teaching people about, new concepts that people you thought they were familiar with, those didn't work. So teaching people, yeah, this long term and people are hard to get on. It's hard to get people on board with things like climate change, because that's a long term change, right? Like that's the thing that happens over, lots of tiny little changes build up to big ones. The thing with a mutation is getting them to realize that tiny little things that you can't see are changing in this little bitty virus, that it's happening over this huge scale, that might make a like getting people to believe that and getting them on board with that and getting them to change their behavior because of that. So it's like getting people to change their individual behavior because of the results of collective action. It's the exact same thing as telling people to change their behavior because of climate change. And a lot of people are get that, as a whole we need to cut down, as a whole we need to drive less, as a whole we need to, use less energy. But end of the day, no one wants to turn down their heat in the winter. Like a lot of people who are like, yeah, of course we should stay home. Everyone, like the number of people I know that did their best, that did all the things they were supposed to, and then caught COVID because they thought just that one time was okay before vaccines. Like, because they're like, I just really wanted to see my mom for the holiday. I thought it was okay that what it was not. Like that's I gotta choose. I gotta pick my battles, and one of them is not telling people, hey. So if the whole world keeps getting sick, it's going to make this thing worse on a microscopic level that you can't see. And no, you getting sick alone isn't going to do it, but everyone continuing to do it together is bad. And they're like, so what you're saying is me alone isn't going to hurt it? Okay, like that's what people hear. So that's yeah, and that's the problem with getting people to get on board with that. So I know I got to that very roundabout, but that's it's the problem is it's absolutely true. It's absolutely a reason why. But much like climate change, also we're past the point where telling people that we're getting anyone to act on that is going to help, because it's endemic. It's already such a problem. It's already, like, COVID is already just it's around. People are already going to catch it. Like it's not it's like, as opposed to, it's I don't like I'm pretty sure we're never going to eradicate it like smallpox. Like it's just the nature of the virus. It is out there, and it's just going to continue to mutate the rest of ours and its natural life. And that's just facts now. And I don't think telling people, I unfortunately don't think telling people something that's a relatively somewhat more complicated thing than, hey, just get your vaccine, it's free, is gonna get them to change their behavior, and it makes me sad. So anyways, let's see. Makes me think of antibiotic resistance. I know someone who had an infection, went to his doctor, was told he had a virus, and was being offered antibiotics, being told they wouldn't do anything. And he said yes, but yeah, like there are plenty of people who I mean, doctors even. There are plenty of people I know who, like, they'll know something is, like, in a general level, this is not the way it should be done, or in a general sense, this is, here are the best practices. And then when it comes to, time for themselves or for personal or for exceptions, of course it's fine when I do it. That, like, everyone's got their, this is, like I said, it's there's a reason why you've got to, if you're trying to change behavior, if you're trying to get people to do something that will impact everyone around them for the better, or stop impacting other people for the worse, you have to make sure that they understand this affects them in an immediate sense. Telling people, yeah, don't try to, try to not get the virus today, because if you get the virus now, it might make the virus even worse later. Like, there's these things are far too abstract and far too if, for all of that. Manitoba's Bible Belt will ensure COVID never leaves. Oh man, like basically we're at the point where there are two classes of people, right? We have vaccinated and sick, or at least that's what it felt like for a while. And now, okay, Buddy is trying to slide his ass off my ass. So he's a very cute dog. He's very, very wibbly wobbly, slidey whitey. Let's see, remember that quote, except it was sanitized and said eventually. Let's see. I see people talking about supporting the nuclear future, which makes me very happy. Apparently all my attempts haven't scared people off nuclear. I love it when I get the occasional person who's sure that I hate nuclear power, because I'm like, hey, occasionally a nuclear accident happened. Which truly means that I hate nuclear, obviously. Do we know anything on how long the vaccines impact long COVID rates, or how the impacts impact long COVID? I have not seen anything on that either way. Like, I'd read a couple of articles early on when the vaccines first came out, when like everyone's like, we don't know what the vaccines are going to do. Maybe they're shots full of magical science juice that make everything better. I'd seen a few articles saying that some people had seen a diminishing of their long COVID symptoms after they got the vaccine. So I don't know if it lowers the chances of getting I don't know if it lowers the chances of getting long COVID. I don't know if it's accurate, if they've seen more of these results where people have gotten vaccinated and seen their symptoms dry up. Like, I think a lot of it's anecdotal when people are like, oh, I got the shot and X, Y, or Z symptom went away. Like, you never know if it was the shot, like, unless it's in a doctor's office and they're, testing levels. Like, I don't know if you can tell how much is from the shot and how much is from, hey, this was just gonna happen. And that's, this disease is horribly unpredictable, and we're still like, I think it's going to be a good 5 years until we can sit there and go, here's what we really know about this disease, and how it works. But yeah, it's a bit of a fucker of disease, isn't it? Some studies show long haulers have a mast cell thing. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm probably going to have a poke through that later. Thank you. Let's see. Alberta, Bama. Oh my. Mast cell. I would explain it, but I don't have the capacity or the brain cells at this point in the week. I would say that I killed a bunch of brain cells by partying for my birthday yesterday, but I did not. For my birthday, I did so little. Like, so little. I did very. It's okay. There are questions about the Lambda variant. I do not know enough about it yet to tell you about it, but let's see. Hold on. Like, I feel it would be weird if I just started Googling it and talking about it right now, but I could. Hold on a second. But I need to know what this is, because what the hell? I also need to get this thing up and running on OBS so I can, so I can, all right. Oh, Jesus. Oh, somebody said earlier that Peru is a mess, and you are not kidding. Lambda COVID variants, unusual mutations, puzzle scientists. Oh, yikes. More mast cell is like allergies, but more. Oh, that's a good way to phrase it. Delta. Can I help you? Let's see. Variant virus codes to do. All right, so it's been in Peru since December. It was designated just a few weeks ago as quote a variant of interest. Let's see. Well, let's pop through the New York Times article and see what we can get in here. It's been reported in 29 countries. It's been detected in 81% of the coronavirus samples in Peru since April, Jesus, and 31% of those in Chile. Doesn't seem to be obviously the dominant sample everywhere, the dominant strain everywhere. That seems to be Delta for the moment. Variant contains, 8 notable mutations, including 7 in the gene for the spike protein. See, big question is unanswered. It's not yet clear whether Lambda is more transmissible than other variants, whether it causes more severe disease, or whether it renders vaccines less effective. So these are all interesting. I'm curious what the issue is with it. If it's a deadlier strain of it. That's one thing that I can't seem to find in here. Decrease. Oh, let's see. The findings suggest these vaccines should work against Lambda, the scientist says. Moreover, antibodies are not the body's only defense against the virus, even if they're less potent against Lambda. Other components of the immune system. Let's see. Yeah, I need to do some more reading on that to figure out what's the what on it. Some things they're saying. Antibodies induced by Pfizer, Moderna, and CoronaVac vaccines are less powerful against Lambda than the original strain, but they're still able to able to neutralize the virus. So that's good but concerning. So it's just continue. The dog will not let me have the seat as I want it. Will the Omega variant be the? I don't want it's. There's going to be eventually. There's just going to be a variant called the Infinity War, and that's going to be the end of this all. Let's see. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be an exact answer on. We know exactly how bad it is. Lambda COVID variant UK. Oh, that's helpful. The new strain previously referred to as C37 or Andean variant has reached the UK. Oh, well, that's gonna turn out. I'm not at all terrified. Let's see. I'm pregnant and my family refuses. Let's see. Aaron said, "I'm pregnant and my family refuses to get vaccinated. Any advice?" I don't see your family for the next few months. Like it's that's I don't. I'm just saying. It's you're you yeah I don't know I don't know what to tell you like I this is you gotta protect yourself, get yourself vaccinated, and that vaccine there have definitely been documented cases of mothers who've gotten vaccinated while pregnant at passing on some of that immunity to their unborn child. So hopefully hopefully get yourself vaccinated, get some of that immunity passed on to your kids, so that I'm it's so hopefully when you're visiting with the family and they're seeing the kid later on, they won't be able to get you or your child infected. So Jesus, I'm sorry that you're in that situation. Whew, that's a lot. The Infinity War variant, so half of us are doomed. Look, I'm just saying, one day MERS could come upon us and really fuck up everything, and that one's like 30% fatal. I'm just saying, coronaviruses are fucking crazy. Like we're lucky the one that came out and was like, "Hey, this could be sitting around for 2 weeks before it really fucks up your life." Let's be really glad the one that could just, you could be just spewing particles of it for 2 weeks before you know you're sick. Let's be glad it's the one that was, quote, only 1% fatal. Still gets to me thinking about that. It spent for one of my articles a bunch of time going through reading up on the different coronaviruses, because I was trying to yell at people who were like, it's fine, most of the cases are asymptomatic. I'm like, no, because we were only focusing on the asymptomatic cases because we were just finding them as a result of all the testing, and I was like, no, every disease has asymptomatic cases. So I went through everything from bubonic plague. Bubonic plague is rare to have asymptomatic cases, but everything from smallpox to especially polio to the flu, a large majority, I believe it's a majority of cases of the flu, according to one of the studies I read, cases are, it's something like, the majority of cases are of the flu are asymptomatic, but it's nuts seeing how many things are asymptomatic for a high percentage of cases. And people are like, let's just focus on that for COVID, though, because it makes me feel better about the fact that I could be coughing death on people all the time. Just crazy. See, is there a point where the percentage fatality actually reduces the ability of a virus to spread widely? Yes. And that's kind of the thing with the really highly fatal viruses, is if they're like something spreading, like, I mean, that's an exact Yeah, that's an exact point of why some of the really highly deadly ones don't spread as well. So if you have something like, things that spread really well tend to be a little bit less deadly. Things that are really, really deadly, they don't get the opportunity to spread as much. And it's not that they're automatically less transmissible, because you can have a virus that's highly fucking transmissible, and just somebody doesn't have the chance to fucking shit, piss, and sneeze it everywhere. But like the measles, it's crazy transmissible, not a very high fatality rate. And I mean, it's not exactly full of fucking vitamin C and sunshine, but it's not highly deadly. It's just like it's if you're in a room, and you've got one person who's got an active infectious case of the measles, and you've got 100 people that aren't vaccinated, a lot of those people are going to get the measles. It's just crazy infectious. You've got one person with COVID and a lot of people that aren't vaccinated, lower chances of people getting COVID. We've seen people be around COVID enough to know that it's a little bit harder to get enough particles out to get I mean, of course, it depends on the person, all that good stuff. But measles, crazy fucking infectious. The R naught is through the roof for that one. But does any virus have sunshine in it? If someone finds one, let me know. I need to know these things. But yeah, COVID's got not as infectious as some of the others. But then there are some that are, of course, deadlier. I'm sure there are some that are deadlier and that are really easy to catch. And now the thing with Ebola is it's actually like it's not that it's hard to catch, but like Ebola, you actually have to like touch the particles. Like it's I believe it's I could be I could be incorrect, but I believe this one it is spread through orophycal route. Like that one you have to like touch something in order to get it. Like it's not, I don't believe it's airborne. Like it's, I'm pretty sure someone can cough it into your mouth if they're working really hard at it, but like it's not airborne like the flu. And that's the thing with some of these viruses that are super fucking deadly. Route of transmission, if it's not able to get from one person to the next like the flu, that changes things in terms of how many people it can infect. So Ebola is, if you're very at risk, if you're a healthcare worker, and you're caring for people, or that's, if you're a healthcare worker working in parts of the world where they get Ebola, so if you're working in a part of the world where they don't have adequate facilities, where they're dealing with a lot of poverty, and that's really unfortunately one of the ways that Ebola kills, is that people don't have, is that facilities don't have the money, and the types of things that you need to treat someone who have Ebola. Like they don't have just the money for IVs, the money for dialysis, like the money to just put people on basic life support, because Ebola is relatively, like, I don't want to say easy to treat, and it still has a pretty high fatality rate. But when you treat people with fairly like people die at about a 90% clip from Ebola in when they have insufficient management for the disease. People live at about a 90% clip if they're treated in the U.S. If they're treated in a modern hospital. So, and I mean, here's what kills me: the parts of the world, and this is how we know, it's just this is something that we just need the money for. And by we, I mean not me, obviously, but this thing that the people in that part of the world just need the money for. The same part of the world that deals with Ebola, they're not fully vaccinated from the measles. Okay, like they're still struggling with diseases that we were done with 50 years, we've been done with forever. So the fact that they're still dealing with the measles, there is an Ebola vaccine. They're getting that Ebola vaccine like when there is an outbreak, they'll go around and do kind of spot treatment and try to manage to do what they call ring vaccination, where they kind of vaccinate around the area to try to cut off the virus from having people that it can spread to, and of course vaccinate the people that are working directly with people who are sick. But they're not going around vaccinating everyone in the area where it spreads. They don't have the money to vaccinate people from things that kill hundreds of thousands of people every year. And at this point, even though Ebola is scarier, it looks and I mean, it's definitely grosser. It looks and sounds way scarier than measles. Like in terms of just raw numbers, in terms of cost, of course, when you have more people getting sick with something and more people dying from something, even if it doesn't look as scary, measles is a bigger concern. So that's something interesting about that one. So now it was a couple of years ago. For I was reviewing the movie, or there was a mini series called The Hot Zone that was based on the book by the same name. And it was about the Reston Ebola outbreak, and it was a strain of Ebola that does not infect humans, that broke out in Reston, Virginia. It came here on a couple of monkeys, or I mean, humans can catch it, but they don't get symptomatic. So with where was it going with the Reston Ebola? Oh yeah, so I was talking to a doctor that had worked on a couple of these Ebola outbreaks, and one of the things I asked him about, like, what can people do, to keep themselves safe and all these types of things. And he's like, get yourself a flu shot. Just that's whenever I'm talking, he said whenever he's talking to people about how to keep themselves healthy, whenever they're worried about Ebola, he's like, just get. Do you even get your the number of people who are worried, who are terrified of the disease that may never come, but don't get their flu shot. Man, that hurt me deep in my soul. So it reminded me kind of. So you guys remember I used to co-host this podcast in which we reviewed the plot lines of porn because I had a normal childhood. But there was one night where we interviewed, and it was like early in the pandemic. But we interviewed this porn star that I'll call oh God, I forgot. I actually forgot her first name. But Jesus, like she was. Anyways, she starts by, she's like, I'm not afraid of the virus, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you should be. But eventually, like she's going on her. It's long before the pandemic, or long before the vaccine was a thing. She's like, I'm not afraid of the virus. I'm like, you should be. But end of the night, she's talking about traveling for work and whatnot. She's like, oh yeah, I bring hand sanitizer everywhere. I'm obsessed with it. I don't like. I'm terrified of airplane germs. And I looked at her. I'm like, airplane germs? Airplane germs? Airplane germs. Do you think COVID got here on a boat? So anyway, that's a thing that happened. She didn't have much to say after that. Anyways, that's a thing that someone, Lauren Phillips. I think it was Lauren Phillips. Yeah, that was look. I've met some interesting porn stars in my life from doing that podcast, and then I've met some dumb ones. So no, this was part of a conversation. Just look, we would talk about we would talk about everything on the podcast, and it wasn't all about the plot line of the porn. And that was just, we were chatting about what was happening in the world, and part of what was happening in the world was a giant pandemic. And man, people had opinions about that pandemic. So let's see. We also we owe a lot to Fauci from his managing of from his work on the AIDS. We just look like, if America has a superhero from the last many decades, it's Anthony Fauci, and I won't back down on that. I hate that I open up Twitter and no matter what, I see a bunch of crazy right wingers bitching about Fauci now, and that's just never going to end. Like for the rest of it's for the rest of his life, for the rest of my natural life. Like no matter what, the man has been nothing but a public servant who has endlessly done, who's just worked, who's just done everything to make America, to make us safer from infectious diseases. And now just the internet's like, he needs bodyguards. He has hate mobs against that are just throwing themselves in his direction because he's told the truth about a virus. So that's pretty special. That's pretty effing special. So the cat, Mark asked about the cat eared headphones. I would say I need to buy another pair of them, but I have some really nice these are nice. But the cat eared headphones, for whatever reason, like the earphone part of them is working, but the mouthpiece isn't. And this would get really boring if it's just me listening to nothing coming through here. So yeah, I, Anthony Fauci did not sign up to analyze viruses so that he could be turned into a political what have you. Like, I don't think that sparring with fucking Rand Paul, the person who could not keep his eye doctor's license, so he needed to make up a fake eye doctor licensing board all on his lonesome. I don't think that he ever wanted to or should have to um, uh, deal with this. Not, he shouldn't have to deal with this chicanery ever again. Just why is this happening? Nah, make it stop. So these are not Sennheisers, they're Bose. I got myself it's these are Bose from a few years ago. I got myself a slightly cheaper pair of Bose recently that are like, it's weird because I can't, maybe my ears just can't detect the quality difference or any quality difference in sound because I'm going deaf. Maybe there isn't a quality difference, but like I got a pair of ones that are that attach via, like, because these aren't Bluetooth enabled, and like I really wanted ones that like didn't get so wrapped up. Like these have a better, like this is a much better microphone than the other one has, but like the other one, it's just like, it's nice to to have the Bluetooth enabled one that I can fall asleep listening to. So, but no, the sound on these are fantastic, and I super love them for travel. So yeah, but I'm still hunting for a better microphone, because my other microphone died. This is my backup, and I had one that I was going to get, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to buy like a whole board and stuff. Like I need a, like, I want a microphone that I can plug right into my computer. That's not like it's like, I have one of the other microphones that like every podcaster on the planet has, and I'm like, I don't want to use that one because it's not the quality. Anyways, I'm hunting for a new microphone. If anyone has suggestion or recommendations, who's an audio person, fucking tell me. I'll take. Shure was the one. SHURA was the one that I was looking at, and again, like they have one that's a Bluetooth mic that I'm like, I want to know if the Shure microphone. It's they like I said, Shure Shure has one that will plug into USB. Now they have one, it's like a $400 microphone that I'm like, I'm ready to throw down my fucking credit card for that. That looks like it's Yeti. That was the one that I was talking. I have a Yeti one that, it's fine. It's just, I don't love it. Like I don't like the functionality of it. I don't love that it's just this heavy fucking brick of a thing. But I wanted to get the Shure because, everyone says it fucking works like a dream. But I also like, I want something that I can just plug in to my computer and go. Sure, and a small USB mixer board. Okay, fine. I'll get a USB mixer board if you insist. Man, people were calling DeWine. Let's see. Yeah, I got a Yeti for like forever ago, and it's like it was. It had issues. It's different Yeti. This is Blue Yeti, I think. Yeah, I actually have. Oh, I have my Yeti. I have two Yetis. This was actually a gift from Patreon. Oh, it's not to do the obvious and plug my Patreon, but speaking of which, it's wishlist USB mixer board. I'll have to throw that on. Just a quick reminder: if you guys are not, and you don't even have to sign up for Patreon to enter this contest, but you're here. Fucking sign up for my Patreon. Anyways, but there is a contest going on right now over on Patreon. No signing up, no, you do not need to give me money to enter this contest. All you need to do, head over to Patreon. There's an open. There are most of my articles, most of the posts on my Patreon page. The link is below. Are they're patron only. There's one that's open to everyone that it says giveaway on it, and all you have to do is go in there in the comments and tell me a joke to be entered into it. And I'm choosing my favorite jokes and giving out and sending out some fabulous prizes. Now I'm partnered with Withings for this, and you guys saw, and I don't know if he's still hanging out here somewhere watching, listening. Ari, are you here? Ari, can you hear me? Anyways, but if you, but yeah, we're along with the kind folks at Withings. I've been playing with their scale and with their blood pressure cuff and with their with their watch for the last. It's been like 6 weeks now, and I'm super in love with their products. I literally use them every day. If I hadn't been gifted them, like I wish I'd bought them sooner because I really, really, really like the watch. And again, like I'm someone who uses a scale as part of my, as part of my way that I let myself eat as much junk food as I can possibly fit into my diet and stay in the pant size that I can kind of stay in. But yeah, I'm just a big fan of their products, and we're giving you guys 2 watches, 2 blood pressure cuffs, and 2 scales. All you got to do is go comment on that article. Just go comment. It says giveaway. I'm just saying now. I'm a cheap date over on Patreon. A lot of people, to support them for a year. To support them, it costs a minimum of 3. I'm only $1 a month. And if you pay for the year, it's 10% off. I'm just saying, head on over. It doesn't cost anything to just go and drop a comment and enter the little cut. But why wouldn't you? It's don't you want to help keep supporting the adorable? Don't you want to help keep supporting the adorable little side dog? And of course, join the Discord server. I'm pointing there. Join the Discord server. You want to join the Discordians. It's a thing you want to do. I can tell. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up because I still have to finish writing that article on wombats. And I have a puppy that's going to pull. There are cords that are about. I'm not Mento. That's not what I'm saying. Don't. Let's not make a Kiko hit you with the pool noodle. It's not. Anyways, so we're gonna wrap up. So anyways, just head over to Patreon. It's even if you're unable, unwilling, just not in the fucking mood to sign up to support me, go over and fucking comment on that. I'm sending out, hold on, I don't have both of the designs here, but I'm sending out both of the different designs of the Emu Bunny postcards, 20 a piece, so I'm sending out 40 postcards. I'm also, if you guys need a refresher on what the Emu Bunny things look like, I'm sending out 3 Emu Bunny t-shirts, or not t-shirts, any of the Emu Bunny things on the on all of Redbubble for apparel. If it's go big or go home. If you want a sweatshirt, you can order one. Go for it. Just any of them that you so choose for your collection. It's on me. And of course, I'm sending out I'm sending out postcards to 40 of you. So and I have horrible handwriting, so we're gonna get through this. But that, along with 6 of the devices from Withing. So all of those, all you have to do, write me a joke. And of course, make sure that you have an account on Patreon or a way that I can reach you. That's just, I need to be able to reach you via the comment that you leave on page somehow. Anyways, so that's about it. That's about wrapped up for now. The contest wraps, like, tomorrow morning. I'm closing comments and taking all of them and figuring out who's the winners are. So anyways, I love you guys. I feel like beginning of this, I hadn't deteriorated too much. And now, like, between the heat and I feel like I'm starting to crumble. So it's about time to go finish up that article on wombats. Anyways, I love you guys. I will. Let me escape out of here, because I know if I don't minimize the screen, it's going to be me sitting here awkwardly going, "I love you guys, bye," and then trying to end the stream for 30 seconds. So anyways, I love you guys. I will. And Sunday, of course, is a day of I would lick it, but it's the dog is right here. Look. All right. Here's how we lick. All right, there. Are you happy? So here, buddy, do you want to say goodbye, buddy? Goodbye, humans. Goodbye. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Come on. But like I said, but buddy is not having it. He's done here.